Cartoons in the 1980s were great. However, many were short-lived. From a cartoon that followed the story of the popular Rubik's Cube to ones that depicted magical sci-fi storylines. Here is a list of animated shows that only lasted one season. First on the list is Rubik, the Amazing Cube. Who would have thought there would be a cartoon centered around the Rubik's Cube? Rubik, the Amazing Cube, follows the adventures of three siblings who find a magical Rubik's Cube with a face and powers. Once they solve the cube, Rubik comes to life and helps them with its different abilities and magical powers. These include flying, shape-shifting, and solving problems. The show was a true product of the 1980s, capturing the popularity of Rubik's Cube in that era. Although the show was unusual, several young people enjoyed the quirky storytelling and wholesome family energy it gave. Sadly, Rubik the Amazing Cube struggled to maintain an audience beyond its initial novelty. Its concept was specific to the pop culture trend then, but the Rubik Cube craze was already fading. As a result, nobody really wanted to see it again, so the show had to be canceled. Like Rubik the Amazing Cube, this fantastic cartoon ended after just one season. Number 2. Turbo Teen. Turbo Teen is about a teenager named Brett Matthews who could transform into a car. It all began when Brett got exposed to a molecular beam in a lab accident, giving him the ability to transform into a red sports car whenever he's exposed to heat and revert to human form when cooled. Brett and his friends use his new superpower to fight crime and solve mysteries, facing off against villains in high-speed chases and using his car form to outsmart the bad guys while trying to find a cure for his condition. Most kids loved the transformation sequence. When Brett transforms, his body stretches and contorts into a car. While the concept of a human being turning into a car may be odd, the sequence was undeniably memorable. Despite the show's ambition, the concept was a little too strange for a broader audience. Remember, kids are not the only ones watching cartoons. This show failed because the idea of a teenager turning into a car didn't quite catch on the way the creators had hoped. And critics found it a bit too out there, even for an 80s cartoon. Turbo Teen was canceled after one season, but it remains a cult classic for its unique premise. While Turbo Teen was known for its wildness, The Biscuits, on the other hand, brought lovable characters to the screen. The Biscuits was a charming show that combined elements of fantasy, adventure, and adorable characters. Created by Hanna-Barbera, the series follows a group of tiny, dog-like creatures called Biscuits, who lived in an ancient forest setting. Their responsibility was to guard the treasure of their deceased king, with the mission to keep the treasure hidden and protected from King Max, a tyrant who wanted to steal it for himself. Each biscuit had a unique personality and role, but they worked as a team to keep their forest safe. Living in harmony with nature, the biscuits deeply respected their home and their fallen king's legacy. Their loyal bond made them a lovable bunch that appealed to younger audiences, and their interactions with all the animals living in the forest gave the show a magical feel. Sadly, the Biscuits struggled to stand out against the many other cartoons in the 1980s, especially as more action-oriented shows gained popularity. Its gentle, fantasy-based storytelling differed from the superhero and adventure series that kids wanted to see, making it difficult for the show to have a larger audience. This made the show end after just one season, leaving the scene to action shows. Speaking of action-oriented animated shows, the next cartoon on our list falls into that category. Number 4. The Adventures of the Galaxy Rangers. The Adventures of the Galaxy Rangers was a space action-packed animated show that combined science fiction and classic cowboy themes. Set in the year 2086, the show followed a team of 4 elite law enforcers known as the Galaxy Rangers. Like every Power Rangers show, the Rangers' task was to protect Earth and its colonies from various intergalactic threats. Each member had unique abilities when they transformed. The show was way ahead of its time due to its darker themes and character complexity. It explored loyalty, sacrifice, and morality, which was quite different from other cartoons that aired in the 80s. The show's animation style was also high quality as it combined Japanese anime influences with American storytelling. resulting in a visually amazing and dynamic series that appealed to older audiences. Despite the love it got, The Adventures of the Galaxy Rangers didn't achieve mainstream success, most likely due to its mature tone themes, which may have been a bit intense for younger kids. The fact that it was also up against simpler and more mainstream cartoons made it harder to capture a large audience, so the series had to be scrapped. Fortunately, it paved the way for the popular Power Rangers franchise that everyone loves. Now, what is a show in the 80s without some sprinkle of high school drama? This list would not be complete if it didn't feature Galaxy High School. Created by Chris Columbus, Galaxy High School brought a fresh twist to the classic high school story by setting it in outer space. The show follows two human teenagers, Doyle Cleverlobe and Amy Brightower, who won scholarships to attend Galaxy High, a school with a huge alien student population. As the teenagers try to fit in, they discover that life at Galaxy High is anything but normal. The episodes revolve around their misadventures with their quirky alien classmates, including Milo Devenus, an amoeba-like creature who can duplicate himself, and Beef Bonk, a bully with 4 arms. Each episode was packed with clever humor and satirical takes on how the real-life American school looked like, making it enjoyable and relatable for kids and even older viewers. However, despite its creativity, Galaxy High School struggled to attract a massive audience. Like many of the shows on this list, it also had some faults. Some believed that younger children might find it difficult to understand the humor. However, many fans still appreciate Galaxy High for its humorous take on high school life, but not as the kids loved Jem and the Holograms when it aired in 1985. It was initially released as a single-season miniseries before it expanded. The demand was so great that this one-season phenomenon became a multi-season hit. The story revolves around Jerrica Benton, a young woman who inherits her father's music company and a high-tech hologram system, Synergy. Using Synergy, she transforms into a rock star alter ego, Jem, and leads her band, called the Holograms. Together, they take on rival bands like the Misfits while navigating the challenges of fame, friendship, and double lives. Jem stood out with its combination of music, fashion, and adventure, appealing to both girls and boys and everyone who loves teen drama. Another reason for its popularity is that every episode featured original songs performed by Jem and the Holograms, paired with a music video style that gave the show a unique vibe. In fact, Jem's iconic catchphrase, "Truly outrageous," became a popular slogan, and the show itself had a lasting influence on fashion, music, and female-driven storytelling. Speaking of shows with lasting influence, do you remember Inhumanoid? I'm sure you do. Inhumanoids was a dark, horror-themed cartoon centered around a team of scientists known as the Earth Corps who battled monsters called the Inhumanoids. These giant beasts, led by the terrifying Metlar, Decompose, and Tendril, emerged from the Earth's core and threatened humanity with their destructive powers. Unlike most 80s cartoons, Inhumanoids had a creepy horror vibe featuring ugly villains and intense battles. The show's darker tone, scary visuals, and themes of corruption and survival gave it a unique edge, making it stand out. However, what made the show great was also what made it less popular. Many people found it too frightening for younger audiences, so the show was canceled after 1 season. Unlike Inhumanoid, Laser Tag Academy was a fun watch for the kids. In an era where everyone loved to play Laser Tag Academy became a viral hit on the television. The show follows Jamie Jaron, a teenager from the year 3010, who travels back to the 1980s to protect her ancestors and preserve the timeline from a villain named Draxon Dreer. Armed with her Starlight power vest and stunner, Jamie uses her laser tag gear to fight evil and protect her family. Laser Tag Academy was created to capitalize on the growing popularity of laser tag as an activity. As a result, kids who loved laser tag loved the show instantly. But when a show relies too much on trends, it can quickly be forgotten when the trends fade. As a result, the series struggled to stay relevant. Despite its engaging storyline and unique premise, Laser Tag Academy ended after 1 season. Still, a lot of people will never forget the high-tech gadgets and colorful battles. Next on the list is a show that took kids on a journey into the world of magic. Number 9. Wildfire. Wildfire brought together fantasy, adventure, and a dash of magic in a world far from Earth. The show follows Sarah, a young girl who discovers she's the princess of a mystical realm called Darshan. Transported there by her magical horse Wildfire, she learns that her mother, Queen Serana, had saved her when she was a baby from an evil sorceress named Diabolin. With Wildfire's help, Sarah must embrace her destiny, protect Darshan, and free it from Diabolin's dark influence. The heart of Wildfire was Sarah's journey of self-discovery. Each episode saw her uncovering her powers and learning more about her heritage, while defending her kingdom from Diabolin's schemes. The plot focused heavily on courage, responsibility, and the power of good over evil, giving it a fairy tale feel that resonated with young audiences, especially those who loved fantasy stories. Despite its engaging storyline, Wildfire faced tough competition from other fantasy-based shows and struggled to gain a strong foothold in the crowded 80s cartoon lineup. Sadly, it was canceled after one season, but its unique blend of magic and adventures has kept it alive in the memories of fans who appreciate its heartfelt and heroic tale. Here's another show from the 80s that centers around magic. Number 10. Visionaries, Knights of the Magical Light. Visionaries, Knights of the Magical Light was a fantasy meets sci-fi cartoon set on the planet Prismos, where technology had ceased to work and magic became the new power source. The planet had two factions, namely the heroic Spectral Knights and the evil Darkling Lords, who received magical powers and animal totems from the wizard Merklin and used them in their battles for control over Prismos. Visionaries had an innovative concept combining futuristic sci-fi with ancient magical elements. Despite its unique premise, the show struggled to attract a large following, possibly because it was too complex for younger viewers. As a result, Visionaries was canceled after one season. Which of these cartoons would you love to make a comeback? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and smash the subscribe button to get more nostalgic content like this.